Can hope be found amidst poverty? Is it possible for a small light to still flicker in the depths of darkness? Welcome to New Delhi, a city whose sky is shrouded in dust and whose earth is teeming with lives that fight to be seen every day. Here, the slums are unmapped, a hidden world of women and children who, despite everything, still live on. This film is a journey to a place where humanity is redefined, a place where survival is an everyday heroism. New Delhi, the bustling capital, a city where the sound of car horns blends with the heavy breaths of poverty. As morning struggles to fully awaken, the streets surrounding the slums disappear into the fog. The smell of smoke, sewage, and freshly baked bread from clay ovens creates a familiar image of life flowing through the city's blind spot. On the map, you may not find the names of these neighborhoods, but along the Yamuna River, you'll find houses made of metal scraps, tarpaulin, and decaying wood. This is where humans breathe alongside rats and stray dogs. But in their eyes, something more than survival shines through. The insistence on living. Women in the slums are the silent pillars of this society. They are not only caregivers for their children, but also the breadwinners. From dawn till dusk, they work tirelessly in informal garment factories, in the homes of the wealthy, or in long lines for water. Sushila is one of these women, with scarred hands and a face kissed by the sun for years. She says, "Here, if you're not strong, you'll be crushed. But if you laugh, you can endure another day." Children in these slums are a generation growing up amidst poverty and imagination. Every plastic bottle is a toy, every polluted stream, a pool of their dreams. A young boy named Raj, with big eyes and tattered clothes, says, "I want to be a policeman, so no one will scare my mother again." On the wall of his small hut, it's written, "I will learn," with charcoal, but with white faith. Days are hot, and the smell of garbage fills the air. Women wash clothes with contaminated water, but their white clothes still smell of purity. In every slum, hundreds of houses are stuck together. Each wall is a silent border between territories and pains. In a corner of the slum, a girl named Karuna has set up a small educational class with a blackboard and 10 students sitting on the floor. She says, if something is to change, education must come. Poverty cannot be eradicated with money, but with awareness, it can be shattered. However, reality is more ruthless than any sentence. The seasonal rains, which for city dwellers are a sign of renewal and mercy, are a natural disaster for the slums. Within hours, roofs collapse, and water sweeps everything away. The smell of death spreads in the wet air. Yet, the next morning, the same women are at work again, washing earth off clothes, burying the dead, and rebuilding life from scratch. At night, the slums take on a different appearance. The yellow light of kerosene lamps shines on tired faces. A lullaby is heard in the distance. Amidst the darkness, a woman sits sewing. Another prepares pickles for tomorrow. A child draws on the ground with a small stick on the dirt. Images gently blend into each other, like the sequences of a film that will continue forever. In this heart of darkness, love still lives. A simple and primal love, the love of surviving. One of the elderly women, Asha, meaning hope, with a wrinkled face and bright eyes, talks about her memories. When I was young, I thought I'd have a house one day. Now, my home is this slum, but I'm still alive. That's enough for me. In this sentence, the philosophy of perseverance is condensed. In a world where everything is against you, breathing itself is a form of resistance. Stop. Disease is always an uninvited guest in these neighborhoods, from dengue fever to skin infections. However, women have learned to be each other's doctors, using plants, experience, and prayer, not by choice, but out of necessity. Teenage girls often live in fear of harassment, but they don't give up on their dreams. They think of a future that may never come, but the idea of it gives them the strength to carry on. New Delhi is a city of contrasts. Skyscrapers next to sewage canals, luxury restaurants a few meters away from houses without toilets. The women of the slums are the human embodiment of this paradox. They know that life itself is not beautiful, but the will to keep going is. On a busy street, a young woman says, "We're not defeated. We're just invisible." You learn that in these slums, happiness is not a big thing. Happiness can be finding a piece of bread or the sound of a child's laughter after a hard day. A child with muddy hands makes a paper kite and says, "Look, my bird is flying." On his face, you see what the modern world has lost, the belief in dreams, despite the harsh reality. Social justice is an abstract concept in this part of the city, but every smile, every act of solidarity, every small help in the midst of poverty is a kind of revolution. Women have a bond with each other. If a roof collapses, dozens of hands come together to raise it again. If illness strikes, they take refuge in each other's silence. While outside this invisible boundary, the world stands in comfort and simply watches. Our camera lingers on the face of a child who has written on the wall of the slum with chalk, "We're still here." This sentence is enough to understand that the root of life, even in despair, is still alive. These are not the defeated. They are the survivors, the guardians of light on the edge of darkness. The world may not be able to change overnight, but stories can awaken hearts. Every time you see, read, or hear the voices of these women, you break the chain of indifference. The slums are not just a story of poverty. They are a story of human will. If these voices moved you, pass them on to others. Perhaps awareness is the first step towards drinking a sip of justice.